The next comic coming up right now, I love her so much. She's the most positive person in the world. Guys, give her a applause now and get it going for my girl, Jenny.
Hugging without a mask. Birthday hugs. You guys, I play 16 musical instruments. I did bring one just to tease you the whole set, and do you want to hear it later? Yeah. Okay, so this dress is for children. Literally, I'm like, I can make this work. You guys, it takes a while to look like this every day. It takes a while for me to get ready. It takes a while to look like Kimmy Schmidt every day. Time. And just like Kimmy Schmidt, I lived in New York City. Any New Yorkers here? Anybody spend any time in New York City? Favorite city in the world. I love meeting New Yorkers in LA because you just recognize that same cold, dead look in their eyes. And you're just like, you have to know immediately, like, what years did you serve? I'm just like, I served from 05 to 17. How about you? And you're just like, but what blocks were you stationed at? I was at 116th and Manhattan Avenue most recently. And you? When I first moved to New York, I lived on 44th between 8th and 9th. In Hell's Kitchen. I used to peek out my door and see the Phantom of the Opera, and I'd be like, just like, Broadway's right there, but I could never achieve it. I tried so hard. I did not get on Broadway. I got off Broadway, I went on tour. I had a really great time though. I met a lot of people. I was very wide-eyed. I heard the best sales pitch of all time when I was walking through Harlem one day. This man was just like, you got feet, I got socks. I was like, damn, I do have feet. I should have. There's just this man's socks. I'll take 5 pairs. They're bonus. I used to get a lot of attention in New York. Every day I would leave my building and see the same guy sitting on the stoop, and I'd be like, hi, Ben, and he'd be just like, show me your pussy. Like, thank you for asking. Like, maybe tomorrow. No. And in LA, I don't get that kind of attention, you guys, like ever. Until recently, it finally happened. I was in West Hollywood, and I was walking down the street, and all my gay friends were like, do you need us to walk you to your car? And I was like, girl, it's so close. I got this. Gorgeously manicured, feeling confident, walking, and this really cute guy comes up to me. He's like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. You are too. Thank you so much. And he's like, yeah, your ass is so tight. I'm like, oh. He's like, your lips are so wet and kissable, and your breasts are so nice and squeezable. I was like, oh. Thank you. I was starting to think you might not be gay. Despite the giant muscles and tiny pink muscle shirt. But he was just like, I need your help. I have this erotic comic book, and I just need you to take off your clothes and pose for me. If you just take off your shirt over here in the alley and just let me take a few snaps. I was like, in the alley? In the alley. I'm gonna need a public restroom at least. Posing in the alley. I was like, have a good night. Good luck. I'm like, send me the GoFundMe. And then he's like, wait, I have a problem. And I'm like, I really can't help you. And he's like, I have a huge cock. And I was like, yes? What is that? I was like, tell me everything. And he was like, if you would just hold my cock. Oh my God. And then I could just take a picture. It would be so great, and then I could use it for my comic book. And you guys, I don't know how he knew that I'm a hand model, but somehow, that was my first job in LA. It was a hand job, but still, I'm working, I'm doing my thing. Because, when I was in New York, I did a lot of jobs. I did many jobs. One job I did was, where do I even want to take you guys? I taught music. That's how I learned the 16 instruments. Yeah. And, teaching is dangerous. You don't think about it, but like when those kids hurt you, you cannot hurt them back. You can't even verbally reprimand them. You just have to keep teaching. One day, it was the holidays, like now, and I'm like, these 2-year-olds can handle shaker bells. It's not a problem. We're like, jingle bells, jingle, yeah. 2-year-old launches a bell to my eye. And it hurts so bad. And you just have to keep singing through it. There's nothing you can do. I had a black eye for 2 weeks. Like a shiner from a baby. And so I'd be walking around. Nothing could cover that up. Not even the yellowest makeup. Still bad. And I'd be walking through New York, and people would always approach me, just ladies like, "Hi, are you okay?" And I was like, "I am great. How are you?" And they're like, "Your eye." I'm like, "Oh, the eye. A baby did that to me." They're like, "I'm sure." Take this card. I'm like, another battered women's shelter. Putting it in the wallet. Call them later. Try to get some money. Yeah, I taught for a long time. That's how I learned to play all the instruments. I used to wait tables at a little place called BB King's in Times Square. It was terrifying. There were a lot of roaches. Just so many, and the management was just like very lackadaisical about it. They're like, "What? It's a basement in Times Square. Like, what do you want?" I'm like, "I want not to serve wings and for roaches to be bathing in the sauce." Yes! That's the appropriate response when there's a roach swimming, doing backflips in the wing sauce. It's bad. So there were a lot of roaches, and one night I was bringing in an order, and then I was waiting for the receipt to print, and a roach crawled across my bare hand. And I was just like, ah! Really, really loud. And there's like a huge, if you don't know the venue, it's a huge like venue space. Like music, I saw BB King himself, I saw James Brown, I saw a lot of iconic legends, but a roach crawled across my hand, and the people like all the way on the other end of the bar were like, "Miss, are you okay?" And I was just like, I didn't want to tell them a roach crawled on me. Like, what could I say? I was just like, bad tip. Really bad tip. I was just so happy to be living in New York City. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hey.
So, yes, Southwest, gangs, love it. So I moved to New York City. I moved to Hell's Kitchen, and something weird happened. It was like my first night all by myself in my 5th floor walk up on 44th Street, and I hear like footsteps, I hear radios, I hear all kinds of like noise, and it's the FDNY. It's the fire department, and they're very handsome. And they're like outside of my door, and I have the chain on, and I'm like, "Is everything okay?" Thank you for 9/11. What's going on? And they were just like, "Ma'am, can we step in your apartment?" I'm like, "Already?" "Yes, of course." So they step into my apartment without a battering ram, and they start ramming it into my across the hall neighbor's door, just like, "Gah!" They still can't get in because it's New York. We have like 80 locks. So they get an axe out and they start axing my neighbor's door to death. They pound it down and then nothing. They're just like, "All right, have a nice day." I'm like, "Won't you come back? Is there anything else that needs to be rammed?" "No, just me." "Okay. I'll catch you on the calendar that my grandma's going to buy me later." So the guy left, and then my neighbor was in Europe for 2 weeks, so he didn't know his name. And I was just so excited to meet anybody. Like, being in New York is an amazing city, but it was just lonely. So by the time my neighbor came back, I was so eager to see him coming up the hall towards our only 2 doors. And I'm like, "Hello, I'm Jen. I'm your new neighbor." And he was just like, "What the fuck?" And I was just like, "Oh, okay." Dinner at my place next week. So then later he was just like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that." He's like, "You know, I just, my door was hacked." And so, "You're the new girl, huh?" He's like, "Hey, you ever need anything? You need a cup of sugar? You need to borrow some milk or something? Go fuck yourself, because I don't have it. Welcome to New York." And I was like, "Yeah, let's try it." You guys want to hear a little accordion for you? I actually bought this accordion because I was on Let's Make a Deal, and I was like, I needed to complete my